What inspires change? What motivates us? It's what's inside that moves us. What moves you? Get the Scion story at scion.com.
Former Department of Interior Assistant Secretary Tony BABAUTA had an open discussion today with several representatives of judiciaries from throughout the Pacific region. Today's dialogue with BABAUTA focused on the effects of the Compact of Free Association on their respective judiciaries.
I truly believe that the judiciary needs a unified effort as well. I think that's one of the missing pieces.
BABAUTA several times referenced two organizations that judges and justices can learn from: the Association of Pacific Island Legislatures, an organization comprised of legislative representatives from 12 island governments, and the Micronesian Chief Executives, made up of chief executives in the Pacific region.
The judiciary, although they have, I believe, the organization itself has, to my knowledge, has never focused on the issue of FAS migration and the effects that it has on the judiciary, and what sort of regional collaboration or interjudicial cooperation and conversation do they need to have in order to have a unified voice and be able to contribute to the same dialogue that's being contributed to by the Micronesian chiefs and also by APIL.
He acknowledged that the biggest obstacle in getting compact impact funding for judiciaries is within the impact itself, because it is typically absorbed by the healthcare aspect.
Because when the issue of the impact of migration comes up, I mean, the largest cost by far is healthcare. I think after that you start getting into judiciary and law enforcement. No one speaks about it too often because the healthcare numbers are so large. But
nonetheless, he emphasizes, identifying concerns and solutions from a regional standpoint will speak louder than individually asking for assistance. In fact, he cautions, there could be more of a risk in losing privileges in doing so.
Because if you're waiting for a solution from Washington, D.C., you're going to get to a point where they're going to talk about what Judge Govendo was talking about and removing the migration privilege altogether, which I just think is bad policy.
Another obstacle, not just for the judiciaries, but for governments overall, is the lack of a reporting system. There are large claims coming from host countries, but no unified way of reporting those costs, he says.
To make the problem even more complex for you, there's not a system in place that measures the contributions of an FAS citizen in the communities where they reside, nor is there a system in place that identifies people who are born on U.S. soil, though of Micronesian descent or coming from the FSM or Marshalls or Palau, are actually U.S. citizens. So,
meanwhile, BABAUTA also responded to questions and rumors of his intent to run for office on Guam.
I think I owe it to my island and to my people to be able to come back home and offer what I've learned in terms of public service. I like to return. I'd like to get into public service at some point.
Any idea how soon?
No idea how soon. I mean, it'll be a transitional process for me.